evening. Tonight we're going to talk about the Cessna 210. This is a 1978 T210M. The engine has been deturboed, so the TS IO-520 is no longer present. It is now the Continental IO-550, normally aspirated. We'll give you a quick little walk around so you can see all the different aspects of this wonderful airplane. A big three-bladed Hartzell propeller. Couple of landing lights, landing gear. Now in the earlier models like this one, the gear doors are closed on the ground. I guess this is a later model, but it's before they changed it on the N series when they will stay open on the ground. We have a look here at the IO-550 engine. A little door for your fuel streamer. The cowl's on, the battery. The mag's on top, black mag. Obviously there's one on the other side. There's a oil filler door on the top to check the oil. There's a fuel spider. Big air filter. When they put the 550 in, they kind of changed the cowling a little bit, and the air intakes are modified. This plane has had the Avidyne gear mod done on it, so we do not have gear doors for the main gear. Gear's always open. Drops straight down and then folds back. I currently have one seat removed. Keep a middle row seat out typically. There's the middle row and the far back seat. Because this was a turbo, it has the built-in oxygen. You can see the oxygen ports up there, as well as the eyeball air vents. Got the seat belts, the shoulder recoil seat belts, more eyeball vents. With the seat out, it gives you a nice big aisle in here. Easy entrance and egress. This aircraft has a AirMod interior. Very nice leather. It's got the Avidyne on top. EX50. It's got a Garmin 530. And we'll power them up. And a Garmin 430 over on the right. Got a JPI engine monitor on the left, and I keep my 496 for, it gives better weather than I get on the Avidyne. It's easier to see. Got a backup attitude indicator, electric one, your standard 6-pack and an HSI, and a fancy clock in the lower left. In the 210, this model, we have the engine instruments are typically over here on the left. We've got the manifold pressure and the fuel flow. We've got the suction gauge with 2 red dots. They're pulled because there's no suction on right now. Our other engine instrument cluster up here on the left. Typical Cessna. You got your flaps down here. Autopilot. That's your throttle. Mixture, or props mixture. It's your gear lever, green light. My gear horn isn't working right now. That's interesting. Fuel flow monitor and the JPI. Your ignition, your switches down here. Kind of dark, but across the top left you have nav, beacon, and strobe. And then you have the taxi light, landing light, a de-ice light on the bottom right, and a pitot heat on the bottom left. My prop de-ice is in op at this point because when we deturboed it and put the 550 in, I no longer had prop de-ice. That's what the panel looks like. My weather radar, which is live out of that one, and I have satellite radar as well. Both are feeding into the MX or the Avidyne on top up there. Now we can see where we're at. There we go. This will give you the radar over here. The radar on the, it'll overlay it on the map as well if we turn it on. The radar is obviously not on since we're on the ground, and you don't run that on the ground. Alright. Turn those off. Up on top we have our, again, our eyeball air vents. So our oxygen, we have a couple oxygen ports, and the oxygen meter there. The fuel gauges are real hard to see, but they're down on the floor between the passengers' feet. You got lights for under each wing for entering and exiting the airplane. Do our pre-flight. We have vents, the leading edges of the wings. Check our pedostatic tube. Leading edges all look good. Nav lights, strobes look good. We always check for our bonding strap and our bolts. 1, 2, 3 on each aileron. Flaps, I didn't put them down, but we check those obviously. Make sure that they're all well connected. Wheels, tires, brakes. Everything is good. It's a very well maintained aircraft. Baggage compartment on these is rather large. You can fit a lot of stuff in here. This plane has about a 1,400 pound useful load, 89 gallons of fuel usable, so I have about 7.5 hours total fuel, and that's cruising at Lena Peak at 160 knots. Pretty good mover. Again, when we're doing our pre-flight, we check all the bolts back here, make sure that everything is appropriate. Landing light, beacon. Static wicks. It's a little tough to walk back here. My Jeep's here in the way. Oh, there are 4 fuel sumps. 5 actually. There's 1 under each wing, so that's 2. And then we have 2 belly sumps, which are located up under here. There's a hole right here. You sump it right there on both sides. Check our squat switches and our gear doors. Our exhaust. This is an ice light. Not sure if this plane was ever de-iced with boots that ended up coming off or not, but we still have the de-ice light. So on the other side of the aircraft we have these are old NACA inlets for the turbo system that was on here. Hopefully I'll put the Avidyne system on turbo normalization here in the next couple of years. This is a door for the fresh air vents. Here's your cowl flaps. They're closed right now. Passenger step retracts with the gear. Again, we have the light. This plane's got an interesting drop-down alternator here. I'll show you that. That's kind of neat. A little red lever up inside here. Pull that, and voila! We got emergency power. Of course, not for use in icing conditions. And to close it, you just snap it back up. Again, you check the wheels, tires, and brakes on this side. Check your antennas. ELT antenna, VOR antennas. We've got 2 more antennas up on top. course, the fuel fillers are on top. There's one on the other wing as well. The fuel vent lines are at the ends of the wingtips. They tend to leak a little, I think. They do in my aircraft anyway. I don't know if it's due to vapor or not, but I've read that a lot of people's 210s do have that problem as well. Here's the radome. And that's the 210M. Show you the view from this side. Down, and if you want to check the hydraulic levels, down here in the passenger footwell, the pilot side, there's a trap door you pop and you can check the hydraulic fluid levels for the landing gear system. That seat out of there really makes a difference. I've got a bunch of little kids, so it's real easy to put the seats in and out. There's the other seat over there. I can just pop it right back in when I need to. Alright, hope you enjoyed our video this evening.